At 5.5 miles, the East London Line is the shortest line on the Underground, with the exception of the Chesham branch on the Metropolitan Line. The East London Line has an end-to-end journey time of 14 minutes between Shoreditch, near the centre of the capital, and its two southern termini at New Cross and New Cross Gate respectively. We will take the last train of the morning from Shoreditch to New Cross across the busy core of the East London Line. Our train is formed of a 4-car A62 stock originally built for service on the Metropolitan Line in 1962. As with most underground stock in service, the train is built from unpainted aluminium. We'll be riding aboard the last train in the morning from Shoreditch to New Cross, departing at 10:32. We will now join our driver in the cab as we venture down to New Cross. The East London Line is a stub of a former through line from Liverpool Street to Croydon via New Cross Gate. Originally the line opened from New Cross Gate to Wapping in 1869 through the Thames Tunnel. The section we are traversing at the moment was opened by the Great Eastern Railway in 1876 to provide goods and passenger services to both Bishopsgate Goods Yard and the newly opened Liverpool Street station. The short section to Shoreditch is only used in peak hours on Mondays to Fridays only. The daytime service terminates at Whitechapel, where trains run every 6 minutes between Whitechapel and Surrey Quays, with the two branches to New Cross and New Cross Gate receiving one train every 12 minutes during the day. Now entering Whitechapel, the busiest London transport station on the line. Whitechapel interchanges with the District and former Metropolitan lines above the East London Line. This interchange allows passengers from the East London Line to travel into central London via the District and former Metropolitan lines. Here we see two District Line trains arriving and departing Whitechapel. The train has just departed on the eastbound line is calling all stations to Upminster, while the train now arriving on the westbound line is calling all stations to Ely Broadway via central London. Departing Whitechapel, you can see a heavily used crossover used by trains during the day. Just visible to the right is St Mary's Curve, which allows trains to run empty to and from the Eastern Depot for major overhauls and maintenance. Here we are entering the long tunnel section through to Wapping. We've used a special night vision camera to enhance the view of the tunnel, a privilege that drivers don't get to experience through the tunnels. The short gaps in the tunnels were a common feature of cut-and-covered tunnelling. These were provided for ventilation as well as allowing steam to escape from the locomotives at the time. Shadwell was opened by the East London Railway on the 10th of April 1876. It was renamed to Shadwell and St George in the East, a bit of a tongue twister. However, this short-lived name lasted just until the end of the First World War. Recently, Shadwell has become an interchange with the Docklands Light Railway, which runs from Island Gardens in the east to Tower Gateway in central London. a short walk from Tower Hill on the Circle and District lines. We are now climbing on a steep gradient towards Wapping Station. Wapping Station is on the summit of the Thames Tunnel incline. As mentioned earlier, the station was the original northern terminus of the former East London Railway, which was opened on the 7th of December 1869. Originally the trains were operated by the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway towards Croydon and even Brighton at one point. Eventually the line was absorbed by the Metropolitan Railway in 1884, a joint venture of the District Railway until 1905. The Thames Tunnel was built between 1825 and 1843 by the Brunels and was originally designed to convey horse and carriage traffic. However, it was only used by pedestrians until 1869, when the East London Railway used this opportunity to build a railway under the Thames to Wapping. However, this wasn't the first tunnel that was built under the Thames, as between 1805 and 1809 a group of Cornish miners attempted to build a tunnel between Rotherhithe and Wapping. However, their tunnel collapsed owing to the area between the Thames and the sand being too close to the water. Again, the Brunels had a similar issue with flooding, when on the 12th of January 1828 the tunnel flooded and killed 6 men, nearly killing Isambard Kingdom. Luckily, Isambard Kingdom survived. This is Rotherhithe. Along with Wapping, Rotherhithe opened on the 7th of December 1869 by the East London Railway, and on the 1st of October 1884 the Metropolitan and District Railways began running services between Bishopsgate, New Cross and New Cross Gate. The East London Railway has always been a mixed traffic line until the cessation of goods in April 1966, where the line became passenger only between Shoreditch, New Cross and New Cross Gate. The train passing us on the northbound line is painted with a prototype livery which will be used when the A stock is refurbished next year. There are 4 different prototype liveries applied to the A stock, and you can still see these liveries on the Metropolitan Line running with unrefurbished stock. We emerge out of the tunnel for the last time, as we are now approaching Surrey Quays. Surrey Quays was opened as Deptford Road on the 7th of December 1869. The name was then changed in 1911 to reflect the nearby Surrey docks, hence the name. However, with the demise of the docks, the area has become run down. The station was then renamed Surrey Quays on the 24th of October 1989, following the opening of the newly built Surrey Quays shopping centre. Surrey Quays is also the last station of the East London core, before the lines to New Cross and New Cross Gate branch off. To the right, we can see the remains of a one-time connecting line to the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway. This link was once used to run trains through to Croydon and Addiscombe. We will return to New Cross Gate later. The feather on top of the signal indicates that we will take the left-hand curve to New Cross, while a plain green signal would indicate New Cross Gate. Here you can see the junction where New Cross and New Cross Gate branches diverge. We are now taking the left-hand curve to New Cross. We are now slowing down for a 20 mph speed restriction for the tight curve ahead. We will now remain at 20 mph until the end of the line. To the left, you can see New Cross Depot. This is the main stabling point for trains and is also the control centre for the entire line. This is New Cross Staff Halt, a handy way to access the depot. We are now slowing for a 10 mph speed restriction, a practice for buffer stops following the Moorgate disaster in 1975. And we are now approaching the end of the line at New Cross. New Cross is an interchange for Network South East for services towards Cannon Street and Charing Cross, as well as linking suburban lines around Kent. This is also the last section of the East London Line to open in 1880. The station itself opened in October 1850 by the South Eastern Railway. We now return to Surrey Quays to ride the last mile and a quarter to New Cross Gate. As mentioned before, there was a one-time link to the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway. Services across this link ceased in 1913 when the Metropolitan Railway started running electric trains to Kensington via St Mary's Curve. The track to this link has since been lifted. This time, the route along the junction is set for New Cross Gate. The signal box on the left used to control the signals from Surrey Quays to both branches. Now, this is controlled from New Cross Depot. Just to the far right of the picture, you can see the former London, Brighton and South Coast Railway main line. This also links to London Bridge, which is the oldest London terminal, as well as services towards Croydon, Crystal Palace, Brighton and the South Coast. We are now just passing a train that has started at New Cross Gate. To the right, a class 455 is passing us on its way to Epsom, calling at New Cross Gate. The voice you can hear on the radio is the line controller at New Cross. Radios were introduced as part of one-person operation, and now the Underground operates one-person operation on all of its lines. New Cross Gate was opened on the 5th of June 1839 by the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway. Originally, the East London Railway operated to a separate station until 1886, where this bay platform was built here at New Cross Gate.